Hey there, colleague. How in the world are you doing? Welcome to the Thoughts Worth Thinking series. Today, you're not your job. I remember early on as a teacher, I never would have said, I'm my job. I must succeed at my job. My identity is tied up to my job. But I really was acting like that was the case. If something went bad in the classroom, it affected me very, very deeply. And it wasn't like this selfless pain. It was a very self-focused pain. It was, I'm not okay when things in my classroom aren't okay. And that's what identity meshing with work performance will always do. It will make failure really threatening and really, really painful. But there's another problem that can happen, and this happened to me too. Sometimes I succeeded at work. Sometimes something went well, or I would get a little piece of praise. You know what that does when your identity's meshed right in? It makes you inflated, egotistical. Your head starts to grow. I've already got a pretty physically large head. I don't need this thing to be any bigger. Okay, but how do we fix that? How do we distance our identity from our performance at work? There's a lot of different things that we can do, but one of them is just to continually bring ourselves back to this thought worth thinking. I'm not my job. There's a few ways that you can do this. You can place it on an index card and put it right in front of where you work, maybe on your computer or by your desk in the classroom or on your mirror at home. I'm not my job. I'm not my job. Another thing we can do is place constraints on our work and make sure that there are certain hours per day that are protected, no matter how school is going, what your paper stack looks like, certain hours that are protected for things that are completely unrelated to work, like investing in relationships in your family or with your friends, or learning about something that's not connected to your teaching at all. But in this series, we're really looking at thoughts worth thinking, so I want to talk a little more about a story that shows how this thought, I'm not my job, can really change the whole trajectory of your life. And it's a story that I love because it's a story told by one of the GOATs of American literature, Toni Morrison. You see how I use that youngster terminology, GOAT? Greatest of all time. Okay, so this story is in a New Yorker article, really short article, and it's called The Work You Do, the Person You Are. And Toni tells the story of how as a little girl she worked cleaning someone's house that lived nearby. And as she got doing this cleaning job, she on the one hand really felt proud about it. She felt like she was a contributor to the family. It kind of made her feel grown up. But also as the job continued, she started receiving harder and harder tasks, and it became a really frustrating thing, and she didn't like it. And she knew that if she told her mom about this, her mom would be instantly sympathetic and would say, you need to quit. And so she told her dad, and she went and she gave her dad specific examples of how the job was super hard and kind of dehumanizing and painful. And she was expecting something, but not this. Her dad looked at her with no sympathy in his eyes, and he said these words, listen, you don't live there, you live here with your people. Go to work, get your money, and come on home. Those are the words her dad said, 20-some words. Not a lot. Right after this part of the story, Toni says, and I'll quote, that was what he said. This was what I heard. 1, whatever the work is, do it well. Not for the boss, but for yourself. 2, you make the job. It doesn't make you. 3, your real life is with us, your family. 4, you are not the work you do. You are the person you are. Isn't that pretty cool? Toni concludes the article by saying that she's since gone on to work all kinds of jobs, and the reader is thinking, yeah, like the job of being a Nobel Prize-winning writer. But Toni attributes so much of her success and flourishing in the midst of all these jobs to those messages that she took from her father's 20 or so words during that first job where she was really struggling. And so when I say you're not your job is a thought worth thinking, I'm asking you, how can you make that something that's so a part of your thought process that it becomes a part of who you are? And you do that through thinking about it lots and lots and lots and talking with people, maybe like conversations like Toni had with her dad, with folks who are going to give you that kind of simple, basic insight into reality. I hope that this video helped. I've got more coming on teacher remoralization and thoughts worth thinking. To get access to all those, make sure you're subscribed. You take care of yourself, and I'll catch you next time.